I know we all are feeling the pressure of the current economy. So today I'm going to share with us strategies to keep us motivated and keep us going. But before I share the strategies, I would like to share with you my immigration experience. Coming on to the US was not on my radar. I had no plan to do that. But as things would come to be, I found myself here for something very important. I was coming here for better medical care because I was pregnant at that time. So I needed that. Nothing prepared me for what was ahead of me. Nothing prepared me for the situation I was going to find myself in, because I know that if I was prepared for such a journey, maybe my mindset would have been different, maybe my thoughts would have been different. I would have even planned ahead of time, but there was nothing like that. It just brings me to the way the inflation started. None of us were prepared for how high inflation was going to be, how detrimental it's going to be to our daily lives and all that. There was no plan, no preparedness. We found ourselves in it and we're just trying to figure it out one after the other. So I'm going to share with you some strategies that helped me from the time where I just found myself in the US and I decided to start working my way through, even without the ability or without even knowing that this was where I was supposed to be or where I was going to stay and all that. So some of the strategies that I used to keep myself motivated throughout the entire challenges. When I mean challenges, I'm talking about a lot of challenges. I'm talking about immigrating to a foreign land and you're pregnant with another daughter just alone. Your mom's house was being foreclosed and your mom was going through depression. You were homeless and also you didn't even have food to eat. You were really depending on the government to give you food. They were sending food to us and all that, and they were giving us some coupons of things to go get, stamps to go get food from the government. You tried as much as possible not to be sick because you don't know how you're going to treat yourself and all that. Because we didn't know how to navigate the entire system on how to take care of ourselves and all that. Those were very difficult situations for us. But what strategies did I take to keep myself going, to keep me motivated, looking at the entire situation? The number one thing I did was to recognize where I was at that time. I knew that it was not a bed of roses. I was coming from a place where I was an entrepreneur with over 120 employees. I had to recognize that I had no job, no more business, no employee, nothing. I had no salary. I had no wages. I had nothing. I had to recognize exactly where I was, and I had to take that first in before moving to the next step. After recognizing where I was, I knew that the journey was ahead because I had a clear vision of my goal before I even came down to the US. But the idea of getting to where I was going to go to, I had no clue. I never knew that being in the US was a clear path for me to get to my financial freedom, for me to achieve my goal and all that, or my American dream. I had no idea. But one thing I knew that I had was a clear goal. I knew I was going to end up in this place, not in the US. I mean, my goal was going to be this, but how I was going to get there, I had no clue and all that. So what I did was to start breaking them down. So what was the thing I first of all did? I recognized that I needed to start bringing in some money. I needed to get help. I needed to start working or start looking for something that can get me money, at least for my family and all that. That was the first step I did. The second thing I did was I had to start breaking down my goals into tiny bits. What was the first thing I did? I said, how do I get from point A to point B? First of all, I had to get educated. So I said, okay, I had my BSc. My BSc was out of this country. If you're bringing in certificates to this country, we know how it is. Most times they don't accept it from some countries. So I think my country was one of those countries that they were not accepting a certificate. No matter the fact that you're a doctor in your country or an accountant or a lawyer, when you come here, you almost start from ground zero. So I came here, I started with education, and the first education was I had to do my master's. I felt that the three ways for one to succeed was going to be either through the medical field, the IT field, or the legal field. So I knew I had no business with the medical field because I'm very, very scared of blood. The next thing I did was that I said, yes, I like to analyze things. I like numbers. I like anything that has to do with areas like that. So I said, okay, IT would be a better fit for me and all that. I started breaking that down. I started breaking my visions into tiny bits to see where that would take me to my goal. So the next strategy is focus on what you can control. You cannot control all life situations. So focus on the things you have strength in and the ones you don't have strength in. collaborate. So how did I achieve that? I started focusing on my strength. I knew I had the strength of leadership. I had the strength of motivation. I like to keep going. I had the strength to lead people. I had the strength to do business. I think I've always loved to be an entrepreneur and all that. I knew that was my strength, and I had no business with the IT I was doing. I think the IT thing kind of derailed me, but I would not say it derailed me. I would say it gave me another area or another aspect of experience that I'm currently using right now. But when I was doing it, the kind of purpose I had for it was to get the 6-figure income. That was the purpose of that IT, but I am infusing it into exactly what I'm doing right now. I think right now I now understand the purpose of why I went through that journey to get here. So I would not say it was a wasted effort, but the thing is, I had to focus on what I could control. I knew that I had the ability to run a business. I had the ability to do some certain things. So what did I need to do? I had to look for someone that had some aspect, like I didn't have the money to do anything. I didn't have the right influence. I didn't know many people. I didn't know so many things. So I had to start engaging people that had either the money or had the influence or had the knowledge of the exact thing I wanted to do, like brokers, agents, insurance brokers and all that. I had to get all those people on board for me to get to my journey. So in other words, focus on what you can control. Those things you cannot control, like when we're talking about a multifamily, things we cannot control is inflation. Things we cannot control are the macroeconomic situation, increase in gases, increase in inflation, recession. Those things we cannot control them. But one thing we can control is for us to operate the property that we manage. That means you can control things like getting the right property management, their roles and responsibility, ensuring that you have the right property management company on ground and manage them, run the property, will increase the value of the property and all that. These are things you can control, but the things you cannot control, you just have no business with it. Focus on what you can control. So during my journey in the multifamily, I realized that I was always taking up so many roles, doing so many things. The acquisition, the entire part of the acquisition process, I was doing it. The entire management process of the deal, I do it. Every other thing I handle apart from capital raising. But it was getting overwhelming as I started to scale. Now that one thing that keeps me motivated is by delegating. So I decided that taking up a lot of things just makes me overwhelmed and just makes me hate what I do, or makes me not to like it at all, or sometimes I don't feel like doing it because I'm carrying a lot on my shoulders. So one thing that kept me motivated was when I decided to start delegating, and I had to start trusting my team to deliver, and also giving them the encouragement that they can do it, or giving them templates or things to follow to get them to achieving it and all that. So delegation plays a big role in me being motivated, because I end up not carrying a lot on my plate because other people are doing the role, and we all together as a team are able to just figure out the entire process and the entire journey. So delegation makes you motivated because it takes things off your table. I'm going to give you a story about this. How you can remain motivated is to stay resilient. So I remember when one of our deals in the past, we were trying to raise 5.2 million, and like 2 weeks for us to close, we're still at 2.8 million, and we needed to at least get to about 4.3 million for us to close. That means we were short of 2.2 million at that time. We were supposed to close in 2 to 3 weeks. I can't remember the exact time frame, but it was a very short time. And I remember staying resilient with very good partners around me that were also resilient. So when some of them that had doubts were coming to us or coming to me and saying, "Baby, are you sure you're going to close? Because this is just 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and we're still at 2.8. And I kept saying to them, we will close. I believe, and I know, because I believe in Christ, I believe in God. I said, I believe that God is going to do it. I believe it's going to come to pass. He has brought us this far. He's going to keep us going. That was the mindset I had. I had to start encouraging myself with the word of God. I started encouraging myself with positive things. I started putting my mind frame that there is nothing impossible for me to achieve. There's nothing impossible for God to do. I stopped looking at the negative part, although it tried to creep up because the time was against us. We needed to raise an additional 2.2. How was it going to happen? Even until 1 hour to the time, we didn't still have the money complete. But how God did it, how it all happened, that within 24 hours, we were able to raise 2.2 million, something we could not do in 3 months. We achieved it in 24 hours. That is the resilience. You need to keep going. I'm not asking you to take uncalculated risk or take risks that are not bad risk and all that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that you need to be resilient, because many things in this life are going to discourage you, are going to make you feel like it's not possible or it's not going to happen. But when you are resilient and you keep the best mindset, because mindset plays a big role in the entire thing. If your mind tells you you can achieve it, already you've been defeated from the head. So if your mind tells you that, then nothing will happen and all that. So I first of all had to deal with my mind, my head, to bring myself to that reality that this deal, I've closed it already. It's a done deal. Now we need to actualize it and all that. So remain resilient, because that is one way to keep you motivated. The next thing that keeps me motivated is collaboration and seeking support. Initially, I'm not good at asking people for help or support, but I started to grow in it and started realizing that a closed mouth is a closed destiny. Once your mouth is sealed, nobody knows how to help you. Nobody knows what you're going through. Nobody can just figure out exactly what you need and all that. But when you seek for support and collaboration, that now helps. So what did I do in the aspect of looking for how to raise the 2.2 million? I brought it to the team's awareness. Team, guys, we've not gotten to that. And I remember one of the meetings that we had, 2 or 3 of the team members took it, they're calling family and friends, and they were able to get their family and friends. And really, this entire money that we raised was from family and friends, 2.2 million. So that's the kind of support and collaboration that you need to start seeking to keep yourself motivated. The moment I opened up my mouth and I said, guys, I need your support, I need your help, that help came. That was where the motivation came. And everybody was on full steam and all that. We're just going and going and going and going until that money was raised. So support system, like I said, I did a video on support system a while ago, and who my support systems and all that. You need support and you need encouragement. You should be able to seek for team members that have your back, or team members that are there when the chips are down, team members that are ready to walk you through or to give you the words of encouragement when the situation seems difficult and all that. So you need those kind of team members. So I was very fortunate to have those very good team members on the team that we needed to move from point A to point B, and had to throw in the entire support. And it was just golden. It was just a very, very sweet experience. I cannot talk about my journey without talking about that singular experience and how the team members supported. Another support you need is your mentors. So you need to also reach out to your mentors and ask them for support, how they can guide you, or what can they do to support you to get into your goal, or to get you to remain motivated. Not everything is about money, but just a word of advice can just propel you or can just take you to your next level. So you need the support of your mentors, your coaches, whoever is that person that you look up to. You need to reach out to them to keep you motivated. I used to find it difficult before now. I'm still working on it. I used to find it very difficult to celebrate my small wins. And that's because I just felt that, okay, it has happened, move, let's go to the next level. You know, that was how motivated I was. I always like to move. I don't celebrate and all that. But really, my sister is a coach, and we got talking and she was able to make me understand that in order for you to realize the level where you are, you need to start counting your blessings, or you need to start celebrating your small wins. They might look small, but guess what? You are not at that level where you used to be. That is, those small wins have moved you from point A to point B, although point Z is your destination, but at least those little moves have taken you from point A to point B. But you might be so engrossed with the entire goal that you forget the entire process because you don't celebrate them. So celebration of your small wins is very, very important, because it makes you understand how far you've come and where you need to go. Because by the time you start celebrating it, you realize that you've not gotten to your goal, or you've moved, and that kind of keeps you going, because I've hit my goal from point A to point B. That means I can do point C to point D and all that. So small wins, the moment I started doing that, I started recognizing the fact that I'm actually meeting my goals, but they might not be as big as I wanted, but I'm moving, and that keeps me going and keeps my mind motivated. The most important thing is you don't want not to be unmotivated. You want to be motivated. So celebrating your small win is one very key way that you can remain motivated. So always tell people that multifamily is not a big risk scheme. It's not all that. So one of the ways I tend to remain motivated is keeping a long-term perspective. So because I understand that multifamily is not a rich quick scheme, when things are not working out right now, I understand that it's a price I'm paying for it to make sense. But first of all, I must actually do the right thing. There are standards and fundamentals I need to follow. Maybe I'm not seeing the result right now, does not mean that it's not going to yield fruit in 5 years or 3 years or 2 years and all that. So I keep myself motivated by knowing that this is a long-term goal. That is how I keep myself motivated, because the moment I find myself thinking that, oh, I went into this and I'm supposed to have achieved this, let's assume you did not achieve it, that might kill your entire morale, that might kill your entire motivation and all that. But by the time you realize that this is a long-term goal, it's not right now, but am I doing the right thing to getting my result? By the time you're able to figure out that this is a long-term goal or long-term vision for you, then that will actually keep you going. So that's the mindset I have about multifamily. For the fact that sometimes some things do not work as it's supposed to work, or I don't get some results I'm supposed to get right now, and I know that I've done the right things throughout maybe the acquisition stage, the entire process, I've done all that. What keeps me going in that entire process is that, oh, in 5 years, I'm going to exit, or in 2 years, I would have increased the value of this property, the net operating income would have gone higher, that will make my deal more profitable and all that. So these are things I put into perspective when I am trying to get myself motivated. That's a long-term goal. I remember myself and my partner, sometimes I just have to say the word, this is a long-term goal, guy. We need to keep going. It's not supposed to give us that kind of result that we want, because from the beginning we understood that it's going to take us 5 years, it's going to take us 4 years, it's going to take us 3 years, all those things. So when you realize there's a long-term goal, it will keep you focused. The last but very important strategy I take to keep myself motivated is my mental health and physical health. I keep myself motivated because my body has to be motivated first of all. So exercise for me has played a big role in my physical being. So, and that keeps my mind fresh. It keeps me driving, it keeps me going, it keeps me moving and all that. Also, I try to guide my mental health with care. I try not to allow anything that affect my mental health, because anything that affects my mental health affects the entire being, affects every part of me, my business, my family, everything is affected. So why wouldn't I want to maintain or take care of my mental health or my physical health? I try to do all that so that I can stay fit mentally, physically, morally, in every form. I try to keep myself fit in those different aspects. So mental health and your physical well-being is very, very important in staying motivated. If you cannot take care of your mental health, there's no way you can achieve or be motivated, or you can apply any of the strategies I just mentioned. It's important that you take your mental health and your physical health very, very important. And at the same time, don't forget to delegate things you cannot do or things that are kind of overwhelming. You need to pass it on to partners or pass it on to people that can help you to achieving this. Like right now, my daughter, she's now growing up. Now I'm delegating some things to her for her to handle so that I can concentrate on things I know she's not capable of doing or I can do and all that. All the things I've listed are very, very important in keeping you motivated. I would like to hear from you guys. What are the strategies or what are the things that you're doing that is keeping you motivated on a day-to-day? And also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Blue Ocean Multifamily Group. I'll say it again, which is Blue Ocean Multifamily Group, for content on the A to Z about multifamily, from the acquisition, asset management, anything you need to know about multifamily. You can get it on my YouTube channel. Also, you can also join our Facebook group, which is Blue Ocean Multifamily Group. It's a private group where we constantly educate our members and all that. If you want to stay educated or up to date with the things that happen, subscribe to my YouTube and also to my Facebook, which is Blue Ocean Multifamily Group. Thank you and have a wonderful day.